it's red. So you're probably wondering about the wig. And the truth is, I binge film. And I did explain this in my last video because the one I'm filming now is the third video of the day. But I started off with a book-inspired makeup video, which I will link down below just in case you'll want to see it. But I am still wearing the makeup from that, and I liked it better with the blonde wig, so here I am still filming in my wig. So you guys are just going to get a little short mini-series of blonde me. The video I have for you guys today is the unpopular book tag, and as far as I know, I have not been tagged in this. If I have, I don't know that I have, but I've been seeing this. It seems to be really popular lately, even though I've seen it for a while, but it's been really popular lately, and I absolutely love it. Just something about people actually saying something that's not positive, but in a constructive way. Usually it's not in a mean way, just, you know, they just personally dislike something, and even when it's about a book that I enjoy, it's still very interesting for me to watch, so I really, really wanted to film this tag. So here I am being that sad person that films it without being tagged. This tag was created by the Book Archer, and I will make sure that I link the original video down below, and let's get started. A popular series that you didn't like. For this one, I'm going to go with The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, which I don't hate the series. I don't understand the hype around it, to be totally honest with you. I just never got into it the way everybody else did. I was never obsessed with it. It's just, I never connected with the books. So for me, they were just okay. Didn't hate them, but this is the only series that comes to mind that might remotely fit this question. A popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love. So this one was really difficult for me just because there was nothing that I could think of that I absolutely loved that everybody else hated. I just couldn't, so I'm picking a sort of in-betweener. And that is Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier, which is currently being borrowed by a friend of mine who loved it, just to back me up here. She loved it. But I always hear mixed things about this. I personally really, really enjoyed the series, especially the first couple of books. I really, really liked the series, but I've heard some people having trouble getting into it, not being all that impressed with it, finding the plot too complicated, or I don't know. But I didn't have those problems with this book. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun, quick read, and I loved all the mysteries and the secret societies, and I thought it was really, really cool. And I don't know, I just feel like I have trouble recommending this to people because people have such mixed feelings about it, although I've come across people that love it like I do. I've definitely heard, even among my friends, people that just don't seem to enjoy it the way I do, which always makes me really sad, but you know, everybody's got their opinions. A love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with, or an OTP that you don't like. For this one, I am choosing Between the Spark and the Burn by April Genevieve Tushok. Now, I feel like I always pull this book out for really negative questions, but this is the unpopular book tag, so I guess this had to make its way in this tag somewhere. And what I really dislike, and for those of you who plan on reading it, although I'm going to put my recommendation out there that you don't because it's terrible, but the protagonist completely has a change of heart in her love interest, but it doesn't make any sense. There's no development for it to make you understand it. She just kind of does, and it makes her seem very just fickle, and I don't respect her as a character. I don't understand her as a character any longer. That wasn't the only thing that was terrible about this book. Most of this book didn't make sense and was just pretty bad. But that was one of the things that irritated me the most. That if there was some consistency or at least some development to make me understand why she went the direction that she did, then maybe I would be kind of okay with it. I wouldn't have completely hated the book among the other bad elements of this book. But that really, I like to connect with my characters, and I don't like when I can't connect with them and I can't understand them, and I don't understand this decision at all. Not even in a, oh, I like a different person kind of way, just in a, it makes no sense. A popular book genre that you hardly reach for. That's so easy. That is sci-fi. Just something about space and aliens and robots and all of those kinds of things, just, I don't know, they just, I struggle. Like, I can't seem to get out of my own head to read one of those books because I just like them so much. Space and aliens, they're just not my thing. They're not my thing. I don't know. A popular book or beloved character that you do not like. At first, I almost didn't know how to answer this, and then all of a sudden I spotted a book and the answer was glaring me in the face. And that is, well, over here, Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby, which most of you, I'm sure, probably read this in high school, or you just really like the book like me, but, you know, I'm sure most people aren't crazy about the book like I am because I love this book. Despite the fact that I love this book, as a person, I really dislike Nick Carraway, and he is the narrator of this book. And this book is fantastic. I think the characters are fantastic. I even think Nick is a fantastically written character. But just as a person, if I were to get to know him, I absolutely just would not like him. He's so judgmental and a little chauvinistic, and every time I read this book, I feel like I just find more and more things about him that I dislike. Now, he does have his few qualities that I do like and appreciate about him, but mostly he's just so kind of judgmental, and just because he's quiet about it and doesn't always say it out loud doesn't make him any less super judgy and putting himself up on this pedestal, which is really funny to me, and we're not going to get into a whole Great Gatsby discussion here, but this really bothers me. I mean, as a person, because one of the first things that is said in this book is the father reminding him that not everybody has had the same advantages that he's had growing up. Seriously, that's a paraphrase, but that's one of the first lines of the book. But all he does is judge people. Now, they might have money, so they might have more advantages than him in some ways. But as people, you know, you never know. You never know. And I feel like throughout the whole book, he thinks he's being super unjudgmental because of what his dad said, but he's really being the opposite and judging everyone and everything that they do. A popular author that you just can't seem to get into. For me, that is Jodi Picoult. And I have tried reading a couple of her books. I have tried, and I know people love her to death. I know Latham loves her, and just, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't feel anything. I just feel bored. I feel really bored. It moves so slowly, and every time I read one of her books, I agonize. It's literally agony for me to read it. I'm not enjoying it, and this was awful. This particular book, I actually buddy read with Molly from Magical Molly, and she felt pretty much the same way about it, but her mom loves this book. So this is really one of those authors where I feel like you either love her or you just kind of meh, or you're like me and I'm like, what is a character trope that you were tired of seeing? Now, the book that actually inspired this thought, I loved. I actually really liked. I liked the characters. I really liked it. And that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. But there is a particular scene in this book that inspired this thought to begin with. Now, toward the beginning, there's this scene where his brother is planning his party, and he just wants to go so wild and crazy and just, you know, everything that somebody who's, 20, 21-ish would want to do. And the protagonist, compared to his brother, is very serious and mature, just kind of like, oh, look at him, he's just gonna have fun anyway, and just, I don't know, he's just super mature and serious and not wild at all. So it's not that I don't understand that there aren't characters that don't necessarily want to get wild and do all these crazy things, but sometimes, like, I know people like that, and that's fine. I think that's why I like Evie from The Diviners so much, because she drinks, she's loud, she's obnoxious, she likes to party, she's doing what she loves to do. And I just kind of wish that not every single protagonist that I read about has to be the super mature one, because I always feel like the author makes such a huge distinction about how mature their protagonist is compared to other people. They have an old soul. That's why the boy falls in love with them, because they're an old soul, or the girl falls in love with them because they're so mature and don't act like anyone their age. And it's like, let your characters lighten up a little bit. Let them have some fun. They don't all have to be super mature. Some of them can act their age a little bit. It's okay. A popular series that you have no interest in reading. Although there are no books that make me just go, no, I don't want to read it. You can't make me. The one series that comes to mind, and I've heard it discussed quite a bit on BookTube, and that is the Mistborn series. Despite how many times people say that they love it, it's so good, I don't know what it is, but I can't make myself want to read it. I am not interested in it. It doesn't sound interesting to me. It doesn't look interesting to me, and I don't wanna. The saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. But what TV show or movie do you like more than you like the books? Now for this one, I have two, why am I holding up four fingers? Two answers. Yep, and I'm going to tell you them both. The first one is The Hunger Games. And I know that's crazy, but as we discussed in the first question, Hunger Games is just not my cup of tea. And even though I don't understand the hype surrounding the Hunger Games trilogy, I am very, very grateful for it. Very, very grateful because I love the movies. Like, I love, love, love the movies. They're amazing, and I'm so grateful to the hype just for that reason. The second one I want to mention is the Vampire Diaries series. Now, I will throw out there that I never finished the series because it's long, and after a few seasons, I just kind of, I don't know if I was tired of it, but I just kind of stopped watching it. I do that once in a while with shows, and I don't know, I just kind of stopped. That being said, I did read the Vampire Diaries books, and I didn't like them. I didn't enjoy them. I didn't really like Elena as a character in the books. I didn't enjoy her relationships with the brothers, and I don't know, I didn't like it. It felt very flat. The characters just did not have a lot of depth for me in the books. But when I watched the show, I enjoyed the story tremendously more. Tremendously more. I enjoyed Elena a lot more as a TV character than I did as a book character. I feel like they did a lot more with her. She's a little annoying in the show, but nothing compared to the book. Nothing compared to the book. I enjoy the development with the two brothers because they actually develop it. And I enjoy it so much more. The story is better. There's more that happens in the TV show, and I guess that's because you have to keep it exciting or people get bored with that kind of show. Whatever the reason is, I just like it more than the book. Alright, so that is all for this tag. I feel like I went on a couple of rants there, so I apologize for my little tangents, and I'm going to try and cut that out, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully this won't be too long of a video. Anyway, I will get more videos out soon, and I'll talk to you guys later.